The biggest expense in your law firm is conversation. Yes, conversation. Today in the open coaching and growing hours in the law firm admin boot camp, I kept hearing this common theme. Well, we talked about that. Well, and I stopped it in regards what was missing is the management, the facilitation, and the leadership in every meeting, water cooler conversation, what have you. I see attorneys all over the country chasing EOS strategies, saying we want to be an EOS firm, traction this, traction that, what have you. Well, let's fast track that. You don't have to pay a consultant for 6, 7 figures to implement EOS for you. Let's start with everybody in your law firm, right down to the receptionist, right down to your virtual assistants overseas, and training them to walk, talk, and behave like EOS in their conversations. Well, how do you do that? It goes like this, and this is what we're implementing in the Law Firm Admin Bootcamp. When you are having conversations, you facilitate them. In EOS, they run off a program called 90.io, I believe it is. That's what we run ours. It is a timer. There is a timer going on when you start the meeting. It's a 1 hour level 10 meeting. Timer starts as soon as we start it. Each area of the agenda has a time slot. Okay, the first 10 minutes is going to look like this, and teach your team members to start behaving like that, operating like that in every conversation, whether it's a meeting, an internal conversation, a got a minute, what have you. It will change everything in your practice when your team members, virtual, part-time, 1099, W-2, does not matter. Independent contractors, marketing agencies. I sit on so many marketing meetings for the law firms that I serve as their fractional CMO, and I'm horrified. I'm horrified at the amount of money that they're spending on these marketing agencies. And I witness and shadow these marketing meetings and get in there. There's no agenda. There's nobody leading and managing it. There's no follow through from what was discussed last week. Nobody's driving the bus in these conversations. And that's exactly what they are. They're conversation. That is the biggest liability within your business. That is where you're having the most loss of profit within your business. So this week, what we're working on in the Law Firm Admin Bootcamp is shifting from conversations. We're no longer having conversations. Conversations are for happy hour at the bar. Conversations are for the team building. But when we are meeting in Got-A Minutes and our internal hardwire meetings, they are ran like an EOS level meeting. So we're not conversing, we're clarifying and verifying, we're identifying, we are debriefing who's doing what, by when, and who's holding who accountable within that conversation. So try this on this week. I'm super excited about the team members in our last Law Firm Admin Bootcamp, and the attorneys are over the moon because they're facilitating and leading. Even when the big boss comes in and says, hey, got a minute, or they dump an emergency on their desk. They're stopping in that moment, and this is the universal language that we use in the Law Firm Admin Bootcamp. Time out. Is this a level 1 delegation? Is this level 5 delegation? What's my due date? What's my timeline? Here's what I have on deck already. Do you want me to abandon this? Because there's revenue and opportunity attached to this. And so when you can facilitate a meeting like a boss, like a CEO, you no longer have conversations anymore. Think about it. As entrepreneurs, as attorneys, as team members, we're like, that's all we do is talk about this, and there's no follow through. And listen, attorneys, entrepreneurs, visionaries, if you are on the delivery of this with your team members and you're frustrated because nobody's following through, or you always have to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning in a pool of sweat wondering if it got done, it could be that you've trained your team members that all we do is brainstorm and have conversations, and we're never going to circle back around. That's a new term that everybody loves on this. So I'm just going to let my attorney sit here and just talk conversation about this, because there's no clear ask, there's no clear direction in there. So try this on with your team members. You don't have to spend hours reading Traction. You don't have to spend hours. I'm a huge fan of all of EOS, but before you spend thousands of dollars and hours and energy on Traction and EOS or what have you, fast track it right now, and let's just start running it like every single meeting, every single interaction like a level 10 meeting. Let me know how you're doing with this. And if you want your team members to get involved, give your team members to me, because here's the deal. We are kicking off a new 3-part live series in the Law Firm Admin Bootcamp and Academy on high productivity performance sprints. So we're going to be kicking this off in 2 weeks. So give me your team, let me have them, and treat them how to communicate and behave and act and run their day like a CEO.